I'm Chimeri or Chichi Amanze, and I'm so grateful to be a recipient of the John and Marianne Morial Scholarship. Thank you so much to Mr. and Mrs. John and Marianne Morial for this incredible support, and go Blue!
Hi, my name is Gerald Sill, and I am the recipient of the 2021-2022 Hermanov Scholarship. I want to thank Michael and Sandy Hermanov for supporting student journalism by sponsoring this award. As a low-income student, this award gave me the ability to work at the Michigan Daily and tell important stories about our community. I am immensely grateful for your support. Go Blue!
Hi, my name is Colby, and I just wanted to say a huge thank you to the Welk family for supporting my education. I seriously would not be here without their generosity, so thank you so much to Dr. Welk and Susan. Go Blue!
Hello, I am Jazib Ahmed, and I am a recipient of the Mary Romick De Young Scholarship. I am very grateful to the University of Michigan Alumni Club of Philadelphia for giving me this scholarship. I'm very grateful. Go Blue!
Hi, my name is Laurel, and I received a scholarship from Mr. Dean Rennell and the Club of Phoenix. I just want to give a quick shout out and say thank you to you all for sponsoring me and supporting me through these past 3 years of college and giving me the opportunity to pursue an engineering education at U of M. Thank you so much for your support, and go Blue!
Hello, my name is Grayson Bunning. I was awarded both the Bill Alterman Sports Writer Scholarship and the Ray O'Hara Sports Writer Award. I want to thank both Alan and Cynthia Broad and the Alterman family for supporting these scholarships, supporting the work with student journalists, and allowing me to tell the story of adaptive sports at Michigan. Thank you both very much.
Hi, I'm Lynn Sabadine, and I'm a very proud and thankful recipient of the Andrew and Jennifer Mutz Endowed Scholarship. Thank you to Andrew and Jennifer Mutz for allowing me to attend the University of Michigan. Thank you, and go Blue!
Hello, my name is Jacob Gladio, and I'm a second-year stats student. I want to really thank everybody involved with the Alumni Council Scholarship. Your support means the world. Thank you, and go Blue!
Bryce Lee here, a recipient of the Distinguished Staff Scholarship. I'm so grateful to my donors for supporting me and making it possible for me to attend Michigan.
Hi, my name is Destiny, and I want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Killian for their contribution to my education. I'll be graduating in a month, and I have to give you guys a huge thank you for making that possible.
Hey everyone. My name's Tyler Herr, and I'm a proud recipient of the Douglas A. Brooke and Mariana Proctor Brooke Fellowship. I am so grateful to Dr. and Mrs. Brooke for making it possible for me to attend the board school here at the University of Michigan. Thank you guys so much, and go Blue!
Hi, my name is Althea Muth, and I'm a recipient of the Jerry A. May Scholarship. I wanted to send the biggest thank you to my scholarship donors, Jerry May and Deborah May. The scholarship truly changed my life, and attending Michigan these last 4 years has been an absolute dream come true for me. So as always, go Blue, and thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Hi, my name is Brian Rossello, and I am a recipient of the Roslenek Family Scholarship. I am a senior studying aerospace engineering. I'd like to thank Michael and Christina for making this possible. I would not be here without you guys. Go Blue!
My name is Bailey Burke, and I'm a recipient of the Coleman Global Experience Scholarship. I want to send a huge thank you to President Mary Sue and Dr. Kenneth Coleman for making my experience here in Ireland possible. Go Blue!
Hi, my name is Sarah Schaefer, and I'm the Alex Kanja Scholarship recipient this year. I want to say thank you to the Kanja family for your generosity. And I also want to say thank you to Mr. and Mrs. William Holmes for making this possible and for allowing me and helping me to live out my dream of becoming a University of Michigan graduate. So thank you again, and go Blue!
Hello, my name is Rozzy Joffrey, and I'm a documentary filmmaker and a second-year MFA graduate student at the Stamps School of Art and Design. I'm also a recipient of the Coleman Student Global Experience Scholarship. My thesis film about a Yemeni refugee living in Seoul would not have been possible without this scholarship, and I wanted to personally thank President Coleman and Dr. Ken Coleman. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Emily Domingue, and I am the recipient of the Pedal for Michigan Scholarship. I just want to say thank you to Ethan Berg, Naveen Buhara and her family, as well as Larry Gardner. Thank you for this opportunity, and go Blue!
Hi, I'm Michaela Thomas, a junior studying art and design as well as education for empowerment. Thank you so much for this generous gift. I remain thrilled and honored to continue my education at the University of Michigan. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Susan Collins, Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs and Professor of Public Policy and Economics. And I'm just absolutely delighted to welcome you to the 2022 Celebrating Donors and Scholars program. It's great to have this opportunity to bring together people who are dedicated to expanding educational opportunities and also the students who benefit from their generous support. The university, as you all know, has long been committed to welcoming students who are seeking rigorous education. In 1879, President James B. Angel noted that in the true spirit of learning and in the best interests of society, the university would hold wide open the gates of this university to all our sons and daughters, whom by gifts of intellect and kindly providence are called to seek for a liberal education. So today we can make good on President Angel's promise because of the generosity of our donors. Their support makes the university an affordable choice for so many of our students. The Go Blue Guarantee, which provides 4 years of free tuition, is one of several programs that donors have supported to help undergraduates on all 3 of our campuses. Financial support has been especially important through the pandemic as circumstances changed for many of our students and their families. Donors' gifts contributed to our ability to provide emergency assistance for nearly 5,000 students, enabling them to continue their degree programs during this particularly challenging time. For all of our students, an important part of the Michigan experience is participating in student organizations and activities. And scholarships make a truly important contribution to this. When students don't have to work part-time jobs to make ends meet, they can participate in those student organizations, and doing so allows them to pursue their passions. Whether their interests are in human-powered submarines, in children's literacy, political debate, stand-up comedy, and so many more opportunities on our campus, they're able to connect with others, develop skills, and begin friendships that may be life-lasting. One of our scholarship recipients noted that the support she received eliminated the need for the weekend job that she had been holding. And because of that scholarship, she was able in her senior year to finally attend football games for the first time. And that uniquely Michigan experience is one that she will absolutely treasure. This year, the university is 50,000 students strong, a wonderful record. And the generous support of our scholarship donors helped many of these students decide to come to Michigan. This support also contributes to their academic success, relieving financial worries and allowing them to focus on their studies. And so we're truly grateful to our donors who are helping our students become the leaders and best of the next generation. It's now my great pleasure to introduce a video message from President Mary Sue Coleman and Dr. Ken Coleman. In their earlier stint as Ann Arborites, the Colemans challenged the university to raise funds for more scholarships. And they led the way, making a generous commitment to support international learning opportunities for our students. I'm absolutely delighted that they could join us in this way today. Thank you very much.
Ken and I have long believed in the impact of philanthropy. Supporting higher education helps realize dreams, and I can't think of a more rewarding, lasting gesture.
Mayor Sue and I feel strongly that students should focus on their studies and not worry about their finances. Scholarships make this possible.
Thank you to our donors for their forward thinking.
You make scholarships possible, and congratulations to our scholarship recipients. Go Blue!
Good afternoon. I'm Tom Baird, Vice President for Development at the University of Michigan. I want to thank our leaders that are here with us today, Provost Susan Collins, who will be here with us for just a few more weeks, she has been named President and CEO of the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. Congratulations, Susan. I also want to thank President Coleman for stepping up to serve at this time. We appreciate your leadership so much. Both have invested personally in supporting students here at the University of Michigan, and this is a true testament to their leadership and commitment. Also joining us today are my friend and VP Emeritus, Jerry May. He's also my predecessor. And we also have Tammy Durham Lewis here today, Assistant Vice President and Executive Director of Financial Aid, with whom I work quite a bit. This is truly a special event today, and where we get to thank our very generous donors and spotlight a few of our very accomplished scholars. It's so great to have you here with us today. It's really a beautiful partnership worth celebrating, and it's always inspiring to me. This is one of my favorite events of the year. Today, we have a panel of terrific students to hear from, and that panel will be moderated by Dean Michael Barr. He is the Joan and Sanford Weill Dean of Public Policy at the Ford School. Dean Barr is also a law professor and director of the U of M Center on Finance, Law, and Policy. Michael, thank you for joining us here today.
It's my pleasure, Tom. It's great to be here. Thanks to you. I want to echo, your thanks to our donors, as well as the thanks from Provost Collins, Mary Sue and Ken Coleman. Really just a great honor to be here. As Tom shared, I'm the Dean of the Gerald R. Ford School of Public Policy here at the university. For those of you who don't know much about the Ford School, while we're one of the smallest academic programs on campus, we're recognized as the #1 social policy program in the country and are known as a great academic research and impact partner all across campus. Our alumni are making an impact nationally, internationally, in state and local government, in the private sector, and in the nonprofit sector. We also have one of the most diverse master's programs on campus. I've had the time to spend with students on this panel as we got together last week, and I was inspired to see the breadth of schools and colleges represented. At the Ford School, we try and live this cross-campus collaboration every day. We have initiatives that collaborate all across campus, like the Center for Racial Justice, which connects faculty and students across the university with racial justice changemakers. The university-wide Poverty Solutions also has its home in the Ford School, as does the Detroit Neighborhood Entrepreneurship Project, the Youth Policy Lab, and the Weiser Diplomacy Center, to name just a few. More broadly, in partnership with Dean Ann Curzan of the College of Literature, Sciences, and the Arts, I co-lead the Democracy and Debate Theme Semester, a university-wide educational initiative that encourages faculty, students, and staff in the Michigan community to collaborate to advance free speech and the free exchange of ideas, the responsibility of members of a democratic society, structural inequality, the power and the voice of the individual voter, and so much more focused on engaging our students and our broader community in the democratic process. As at the Ford School, the impact of your support for our students is one of the most important priorities of the university. We're going to start bringing those students on screen just to give you a sense as we get started of the people we're going to be talking to. Thank you to all the students who are here and joining us. You really are truly the leaders and the best. To our donors, we believe the best way for us to share the impact you've had is through meeting some of those students who are recipients of your support. Though I'm sorry we can't be together in person, I hope our time together will serve as a reminder of some of the reasons you give to the university and to our amazing students. So now I'm going to get to the important part here. We have a fantastic group of students from across the university with great stories to tell. I'm going to give them a chance to introduce themselves. I'll guide a little bit of a conversation all together. And we'll also have a chance to ask some of the questions you'd like to pose, which you can do through the Q&A function. So to get us started, students, what I'm going to do is ask you each to tell me a little bit about yourself, your name, your school or college, your major or specialty, the scholarship or scholarships that you're on. Really just to give us a sense of, beginning sense of who you are. And I'm going to ask Chi-Chi to get us started, please.
Hi, I'm Chi-Chi Amanze. I'm a second-year student here at the College of Literature, Science, and Arts. I'm majoring in neuroscience, and I come from Detroit, Michigan, and I am a recipient of the John and Mary Ann Memorial Scholarship, as well as the John and Patricia Rich Scholarship.
Thanks, Chi-Chi. Diana?
Hi, everyone. My name is Diana Bateman, and I'm from Flintstone, Georgia. I'm a third-year student in LS&A's Communication and Media and Women's and Gender Studies programs, and will also be continuing my education in Rackham's Advanced Master's Degree program in Transcultural Studies. I'm also the editor-in-chief of Michigan Ensign Yearbook, and I'm honored to be a recipient of the Peterson Feinberg, Stanford Lipsey, and Joey Bertelli scholarships through the Office of Student Publications.
Thank you, Diana. Ben?
Hi, everyone. My name is Ben Levine. I'm a dual degree master's student at Ford School of Public Policy and Ross School of Business. I specifically focus on studying education policy and poverty more broadly. And I'm originally from Chicago. And I'm honored to be the recipient of the Margaret E. Weston Endowment for Education Policy Scholarship.
Thank you, Ben. Ross?
Hi, everyone. My name's Ross Michaels, originally from a small town in the Upper Peninsula called Chassell, Michigan. Came down here after doing my undergrad at Michigan Tech for medical school. And I'm about to graduate, and I just matched in orthopedic surgery here at the University of Michigan. So I'll be sticking around for another 5 years. Very excited. I wanted to say thank you to Dr. Cummins and all the other supporters of the Northern Michigan Scholarship, which I was a recipient of.
Thanks, Ross, and a huge congratulations. That's a big deal. Jesus?
Hello, my name is Facetune Sanchez. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I'm currently a freshman at the University of Michigan College of Engineering. I'm planning to study mechanical engineering. And I'm a recipient of the Detroit Bicentennial Scholarship and the Wolverine Pathway Scholarship.
Thank you, Jesus. Emily?
Hi, my name is Emily Stancliffe. I am a first-year Master's of Architecture student at the Taubman School of Architecture and Urban Planning, and I am the recipient of the Taubman Merit Scholarship.
Thank you, Emily. And last but not least, Andrew.
Hi, everyone. My name is Andrew Tebow. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I'm a fourth-year student in the School of Art and Design. I'll be graduating this spring with a bachelor's in fine arts. Throughout the past 4 years, my focus has been primarily on industrial design, and I'm a recipient of the Smucker Wagstaff Undergraduate Scholarship and the Ned Dibvig Memorial Scholarship. So I would like to thank it and Susie Wagstaff, and also Karen and Ron Schaefer for making that possible.
Thanks, Andrew. So we're going to keep going in this same order just to make things easy for now. And what I'd like to ask next is really for you to just express in your own words what impact having these scholarships has made on your student experience, your lives, your path forward. So again, maybe we'll have Chi-Chi start us out.
Yeah, so this scholarship has really supported me throughout my experience so far. It's really nice not having to worry about finances when dealing with school, especially because school is already stressful in and of itself. So having that little layer of not having to worry about finances is really helpful, and everything I feel like revolves around finances these days. So just the added layer of being able to focus on my studies and trying to support myself has been amazing so far.
Thank you, Chi-Chi. Diana?
Yeah, being from a small town in Georgia, I was very excited to come to Ann Arbor, both for the social and academic opportunities. And outside of the classroom environment, I would say that my most meaningful experiences have definitely been the various student organizations that I'm involved in. And without receiving these donor-funded scholarships, I definitely wouldn't have been able to focus as much time on these extracurricular interests. And I would have been more time on trying to find a part-time job and worrying about finances, and wouldn't have been able to be involved in the university environment as I am.
Thank you, Diana. I think that that's very telling. Ben?
Yeah, I'll echo some of the ideas shared by the prior students. The financial relief that scholarships provide students allow for various opportunities that may not be possible had the scholarships not been provided. But I would also add that in my specific case, it's really grounded me in my purpose for why I'm in graduate school and what my passions are, specifically learning about and fighting for educational equity, and to be associated with a scholarship that is directly linked to honoring an individual who is also very passionate about these subjects has been very important to me.
Yeah, Ben, I think that's really nicely said. And I know that the family members, Maggie's family members and her fellow students and alumni who knew her, I know this is an important way to honor her memory and her legacy. So I'm glad you raised that. Ross?
Yeah, I think if I had to distill it down to two ideas, it would be freedom and the ability to focus. Prior to coming to medical school here, I was signed up to join the Army for a scholarship through the Armed Forces to pay for medical school. And with that, obviously, them paying for your school means that you need to serve for quite a few years before you're free to kind of chase your own passions. So I was looking at 6 to 7 years after finishing residency of kind of not being my own boss. So your guys' support as donors really gives someone like me the freedom to dream and direct my life and the life of my family moving forward. And I hope to go one day and be a medical missionary in underserved areas of the world. So that'll bring it much quicker to fruition. And the second thing, focus on studies. I think a lot of students have already touched on this, but this is the first time in my life that I haven't had a part-time job. I'm not driving an ambulance at night or anything. And your guys' gifts and scholarships have made that possible, just allowing me to focus on medical school, which has proved to be enough of a challenge. So thank you so much.
I'm sure it is. And it sounds like you've done really well with it. So congratulations. Jesus?
For me as well, an impact that the donor funded scholarship has provided me was the opportunity to even have a student experience. I come from a large family and not very well off in terms of money, but so without the scholarships, I probably would not have even considered going to university, let alone not having a job. So right now that has really allowed me to have freedom to study. Sometimes you can go out, like have fun. So I really appreciate the support.
Thank you, Jesus. Emily?
I'll echo some of the sentiments of my colleagues. Without the support, I'm originally from Baltimore. And like many of us, have a pretty large family. And so having 3 students going through college right now was a lot. And so this scholarship honestly really helped me to actually get into grad school and to even consider it. So I'm extremely thankful for all of your support.
Thank you, Emily. Andrew?
Yeah, not only have donor-funded scholarships reduced the stress that paying tuition presents, but it also speaks volumes to the university, knowing that there are people outside of the university itself who are committed to the growth and success of students shows that the Michigan difference extends far beyond the quality of the education we receive. And it just makes me proud to be part of this community.
Andrew, I feel that way too. And I'll tell you, when I travel around the country, even around the world, if I have my Michigan pin on, or I'm wearing a Michigan tie, or I've got a ball cap, you get a go blue anywhere you go in the world. And people really do look out for each other. Our alumni are incredibly supportive of this institution, of our students, of our faculty. It's just a wonderful community you're about to enter into.
Absolutely.
I wonder if we could do another round, and this time what I'd really like you to focus on, you guys are all at different stages of your education and career paths. So I apologize for this question. It's a question that older people ask students all the time, but has some anxiety, I know, associated with it. But if you could just say a little bit about what you think your hopes are for the next stage of your future, maybe a little bit about how Michigan might help prepare you for that next stage, and we'll go in the same order. I'm sorry, Chi-Chi, I keep making you go first, but here we
It's
are.
all good. Yeah, so ever since I was a little girl, I always dreamed of being a doctor. And I think sometimes, as a kid, your ambitions can be so big. So it's been really fun, like so far, trying to decide if I still want to go that route. And so far, I do. So for now, the plans are hopefully medical school in the future. And the University of Michigan, there's just so many resources. There's so many faculty members, so many people just here to help. And I think because of that, the road to medical school hopefully is that much easier.
Well, we all look forward to calling you Dr. Amanze in the future. So I'm excited for this path. Diana?
Yeah, Michigan has definitely let me try out various experiences related to my interests. So in like publications, graphic design, gender studies. I chose Michigan just because of how much knowledge exists on this campus. I'm not quite sure where I want to work yet or exactly what job I want to do, but regardless of where I go and what I do, I just hope that my work is impactful the same way that our donors have impacted us.
Thank you, Diana. Ben?
Yeah, I think in the short term, I might try to gain some experience in the private sector to build some skills. And from there, transition back to the public sector and specifically focus on poverty alleviation. When I was teaching both in Detroit and in Brooklyn, I saw not only the challenges of an inequitable education system, but also the challenges of transitioning out of the education system for underserved communities. And so I'm very interested in working on building services that not only support the academics of young, deserving students, but also support them as they transition into post-secondary institutions and a career.
Thank you, Ben. A very exciting career path, and we're looking forward to seeing what comes next. Ross, you said a little bit already about the direction you're going, but maybe you could say a little bit about how your Michigan career prepares you for that.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that the alumni network that the University of Michigan brings cannot be understated. I did a couple away rotations, which is where medical students go and basically work at a different hospital for a month. And I can't say how many people I ran into were like, man, if you're from the University of Michigan, you must be pretty good. And also just how nicely people treated me. And, like everybody was saying, the gold blues that you get when you have the Michigan logo on. But more than that, for my future, the University of Michigan has connected me to a lot of alumni that are already doing what I want to do long-term, and that being medical missionary work. And I've connected with several surgeons and also emergency medicine physicians who run a teaching hospital over in Burundi, Africa, which is one of the poorest countries in the world. And I could see myself becoming an orthopedic teaching faculty, once I finish residency.
Really exciting, Ross. Thank you for sharing that. Jesus.
For me, like has been previously mentioned, the alumni system. I've already met through some of my courses even. I took one of my engineering courses. It was an assignment where we had to meet up with different alumni, kind of like a student panel thing. We asked them questions like, how was their path, their career? It's really interesting, and you build connections like that. But as for what I want to do with my career, I still don't know. Like I said, I'm planning on going into mechanical engineering, but it's a very, very broad career, which is why I chose it. I find fascinating, like cars, anything really. I'm still thinking about it.
Well, you have plenty of time in your educational career to work through those issues, and you're at a fantastic first-rate program, and I know it'll bring great things to you in the future. Emily.
Yeah, so I came to the University of Michigan from the University of Maryland, and just kind of knowing the extensive network that they had. I'm looking to become an architect and possibly a landscape architect as well. And so having that huge network of architects and urban planners, I would really like to go into urban design, and that's a field that's extremely huge. And Michigan makes it a little bit smaller, so it's a lot more manageable to actually get into and kind of get your feet wet a little bit. I was able to participate in the externship program this past spring, and interned with a firm out in New York. And I wouldn't have been able to have that opportunity if I wasn't here in Michigan.
Thanks, Emily. Andrew.
Yeah, ultimately, I would love to work for a big design consultancy. Michigan has provided me with the opportunity to work with students and professors outside of my degree program to help diversify my skill set and make that goal possible. And this type of learning is something that could only be done here at Michigan, and it's also something that I'm very grateful for.
Thanks, Andrew. I'm going to start to weave in audience questions in addition to my own, so we'll go a little bit back and forth. So one question from the audience is, if you had to pick one highlight of your time at the University of Michigan so far, what would that be? So again, Chi-Chi, yeah.
Yeah. For me, I would say the first day in Ann Arbor stepping on campus, because I am a sophomore and I spent my first year completely virtual. So I didn't come to Ann Arbor until my second year. And I just remember meeting so many people in just one day and seeing the campus, seeing all the buildings that I've always wanted to see in just one day. And that made me realize how valuable it is to be on campus and to experience life at Michigan, because every day is something new and there's just so much to see. And so I think the first time I stepped on campus was probably one of the most meaningful experiences here.
There's that really special feeling. I'm thinking back to it. Diana.
I would say also similar to Chi-Chi, of just being able to be on campus, especially with a whole year on Zoom. I'd say if one day was standing out to me, it'd be the day that I knew I got into the master's program and be able to spend another year here. I wasn't quite ready to leave Ann Arbor, especially after coming back after being virtual. So yeah, I'd have to say that day.
That's great. Ben, how about you? What experience do you think of as a highlight?
There are many highlights. I think I struggle with this question a bit, but a unique experience that I had was the opportunity to take on the Ford School Partnership with Governor Whitmer last summer. So working as a policy fellow for the Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity allowed me to kind of create initiatives that will hopefully pass and allow individuals across the state to have greater access to higher education and post-secondary degrees, and hopefully also they strengthen the workforce across the state of Michigan.
Thank you, Ben. Ross, how about you?
I think the relationships with my peers has been the most meaningful thing to me here at Michigan. I can't understate how impressed and totally blown away I've been by the people that are recruited to go to medical school here and also to the undergrad colleges. I never see a day where I don't talk to one of my classmates and they're doing some awesome work in like gender affirmation surgeries or publishing in JAMA or, you know, doing whatever, raising 2 kids while going into general surgery or, you know, designing a house as an architect while they're studying for their STEP exams. And it's just truly amazing. And I really can't state how much the friendships that I've developed during this time have meant to me and have really been a huge support for me through this really tough medical school journey. So
thanks, Ross. I want to come back to that theme with everybody later in just a moment. Jesus.
For me, it was probably like 3 weeks into living at Michigan. There's a student org called La Casa, where there's a whole bunch of Latino students, and they had a mass meeting. And I showed up, and there was just hundreds of students, with Latino backgrounds. And that was like my I belong here moment, which is really important because imposter syndrome is a real thing. I personally lucked out and found my place real fast. But it makes you feel like you're at home, away from home.
That's really great and important, Jesus, and that sense of belonging that people have with Michigan, as you said, sometimes it takes a while to find that feeling inside. So I'm glad it came to you early. Emily.
Yeah, I would have to say the first time that I actually met my cohort in person, we had spent the entire summer on Zoom together, and we were actually able to meet up on campus and like had this like little get together with our teachers and even with some of the GSIs that were there. And I just thought that was the coolest thing, that we would all get together like that. And we all got along very well. And honestly, we're very much like a family now. So very exciting.
Terrific. Andrew?
For me, something that I'm always going to remember will be this past year's football game against Ohio State. There was just an immense feeling of pride and community on campus following that game. And it's just something that I'm certainly never going to forget.
Andrew, I had that feeling too, just being in the big house for that game. It was just completely electrifying. And I'm not an expert at football at all, but every play of that game was so beautiful to watch. It was just so much fun.
Yeah, I've never experienced anything like that in my life.
Yeah. I want to return to something Ross was saying about, the way that your colleagues, your professors, staff members, other students have affected you, supported you in your path here. And I know this is a hard question, but if you just had to pick one person who helped you on this journey, and you could say a little bit about that person, I'd love to hear about it.
That is a hard question, but if I had to choose one, it would probably be Melissa DeHonk here. She was my research mentor the first year I was here. And I was still navigating how to figure out my experiences here in Michigan. So I think she was able to show me the ins and outs of how to do research. She even gave me advice on the school itself, University of Michigan itself. So she was just one of the first faculty members here that I met. So I think she definitely holds a place in my heart. And yeah.
Thank you, Chi-Chi. Diana?
Yeah, so many people come to mind for me, but one that definitely stands out is Kathy Cizinski, who's the general manager at the Office of Student Publications. She's always there to answer any academic questions I have, publication-related questions, and just always goes above and beyond on making sure each student is having the best experience.
Yeah, we have really amazing staff at the university. I think that we don't talk about them enough, I'll tell you. I was so impressed when I first got to our campus with the staff here. And they're doing amazing things all over campus, supporting our students, doing their own research, engaging and helping students on the path to their next career, driving trucks and buses and serving food and doing so many other things. I feel very blessed here. Ben?
I would echo that. There have been many individuals who have supported me along the way. When you asked the question, I thought of a moment early on in my experience at the Ford School where I wasn't sure if I was balancing kind of academics, extracurriculars, trying to meet people during the kind of heart of COVID. And I think back to a conversation with Professor Kevin Stang, who really grounded me in just understanding the kind of purpose and perspective of what it means to be a graduate student and what I hope to get out of this experience. And it allowed me to step back and just kind of reevaluate the way in which I was thinking about how I should prioritize time and how I can make the most of what was a really challenging moment in time, but the overall journey.
Thanks, Ben. Ross, you touched on this a little bit, but maybe if you want to pick one of the folks you mentioned as an example.
Most definitely. So some background on this is, even though University of Michigan was one of the closest medical schools to my parents and my wife's parents, we're still about 8 hours away when I started medical school. So when me and my wife were pregnant with my daughter, who was born during my first year of medical school, we had a lot to learn about parenting. And one of my classmates, whose name is Grace Hahn, she's just one of the most beautiful human beings that I know. And, she taught us so much about, what kind of diapers do you get? And like, what kind of supplies do you need to take care of baby? And like, how do you set up the nursery? And she was there at the birth of my daughter, Eden. And sorry, I didn't want to get emotional, and the birth of my son, Ezra, a year and a half later. And her support through this process has just really allowed us to thrive as a family.
Thanks, Ross. I appreciate your sharing that personal moments. Jesus.
For me, is somebody named Alan Hernandez. He works for the Office of Academic Multicultural Initiatives. He's been my mentor for the past 2 semesters. He's from Detroit, like me. So he's also an alumni from Michigan, which is pretty crazy. For me, it's like it's like somebody that can show me that I can do it. Like, we come from similar backgrounds, similar heritage. He's been with me for every step of the way, helping me with mental health, time management, setting goals for myself. Overall, a lot of my performance this past couple of semesters have been due to him.
Thank you, Jesus. Having that kind of mentorship is so critical. Emily?
Yeah, it is very hard to pick one person. Wow. I would have to say one of our studio professors. I wasn't in his studio, but I was in another studio, and just having the ability to, ask him like, hey, can I get some review? Can I get another critique? And him being able to come in extra and just like look at my stuff. And, he's really kind of guided me through a little bit of my designs, and just kind of balancing a lot of design equity questions that I have with some very intriguing design problems to begin with. So just having someone to kind of guide you along the way, and who has the commitment to do that and the time to do that has been incredible. And I'm very thankful for him.
Emily, do you want to let us know who the professor is so we can thank him?
Yeah, sorry, John Ostert.
Great. Andrew?
Yeah, just like everyone else has been saying, there's a ton of people who I'm incredibly thankful for here at Michigan. But someone specifically I can point to is John Marshall. He's a professor in the School of Art and Design. I took a class with him a year ago, and I still frequently reach out to him for support and advice. I know he's an incredibly busy person, but he's still always willing to offer advice, and I wouldn't be where I am today without his help.
Thanks, Andrea. I've gotten a chance to get to know John a bit, and he is just an extraordinary individual, really deeply committed, talented. We're going to go wild and crazy here. We're going to change the order and go in reverse order for a little while. So Andrea, you're going to be up next. One question from the audience is, what's your favorite spot on campus, the one that you think you'll miss the most when you leave Ann Arbor?
Oh man, Well, there are certainly a lot of great spots on campus. Something that I'm definitely going to miss, though, is North Campus. The School of Art and Design is up on North Campus, and I know for a lot of people who have never taken a class up there, it seems like a very distant place. But with Central Campus being so lively with all the students, North Campus is a great spot to go and kind of get away from that if you need to get a lot of stuff done. It's quiet, it's up in the woods, and it's definitely my favorite study spot.
That's great. And you can see Maya Lynn's The Wave up there.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome.
Uh-huh.
Emily?
I would also have to say North Campus, since that is practically where I live. As an architecture student, you're in studio 24/7, but just being surrounded in those woods and like making the walk back up to my car and, being able to take that time in the environment just to myself a little bit, it's absolutely beautiful. And just like you mentioned, it's a much quieter place than Central Campus, which is really nice.
That's great. Jesus?
For me, it's got to be the recreation building.
Mm-hmm.
I played dodgeball on my first semester. That's where I met a couple of my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And generally, you just meet a lot of people on the daily. I know that everyone that I've met so far has at least gone to one of the recreation buildings. So every once in a while, we hang out, we go to the gym, get something to eat. So it's great stress reliever.
It's a good spot. I've spent a long time there too. Ross?
Yeah, I think the Huron River is one of the most beautiful things around in the area, whether you're paddleboarding or tubing, just hanging out by the river. Definitely something I'll miss when I move away from Ann Arbor.
Yeah, I love running by the river down there or kayaking. It really is a gem of a place for our community. Ben, how about you?
So I'm not sure if my answer is cheating, but it kind of combines with the question in the chat about favorite tradition. A moment, place that I'll forever miss after leaving Ann Arbor will be Saturdays when we have home games, just walking down State Street towards Hoover with tens of thousands of people who in that moment seem to all share a common purpose. So that's something that came to mind when you shared the question.
Thanks, Ben. Diana?
Yeah, there's a couple places that come to mind, so I'm going to cheat a little bit and name a few. Definitely the yearbook office. That's where I've met most of my close friends. I'm just always there. Long deadline nights, lots of great memories. I'd say the Bell Tower and the Alumni Center are great places to study around. The Alumni Center is new, so it's nice and comfortable. The Bell Tower just, I don't know, always catches my eye no matter where I'm at on campus. And then definitely the Spectrum Center, that'll be the last one I name. They just celebrated their 50th anniversary this past year. It's always such a welcoming space. All of the staff are really nice. And I've definitely met quite a few friends there as well.
That's great, Diana. Yeah, 50 years is really a remarkable achievement. They've done so much good on campus for so many decades. It's an impressive place and impressive people who work there. Chi-Chi?
I really love the Michigan Union because there's just so many things in there to do and to see. There's a lot of like restaurants there. It's also a good place to study. I also met a few friends there, and there's always an event there too. So there's a lot of things to do at the Union, and I personally love that spot.
That's terrific, Chi-Chi. Andrew, we're going to come back to you, and we're going to ask the question that Ben sort of foreshadowed, which is, what's your favorite University of Michigan tradition?
Well, I hate to repeat what Ben said, but the Saturday home games is what immediately comes to mind for me. Just the atmosphere around it and the sense of community is something incredible, and I'm really going to miss it.
Emily?
I'm not sure if this is a university wide tradition, but I guess
It can
for
be your
Tom
own
and
special
Elise,
tradition.
yeah, it's my own. Tom and at least for our cohort, after a big studio deadline, we all like to go out and get dinner with our entire cohort, all of 50 people, which I don't know, it's just something else to be able to have friends like that.
That's great. Do you guys always go to the same spot?
No, we try and mix it up. Not all of us are from Michigan.
Jesus?
For me, it isn't really a Michigan tradition, but ever since my first week at Michigan, I've been going out every Thursday with my friends to go eat wings and watch the sports, Buffalo Wild Wings, which is, I think, it's really important to connect and like stay together, because sometimes those connections do get lost. And I think it's like a beautiful thing that it's like if we manage to stay together up until graduation.
That's wonderful. Ross, do you have time for tradition?
I was trying to think of traditions, and I think maybe our medical school traditions are slightly different from, the undergrad colleges, but one thing that people always get tripped up by here at Michigan is when you enter the operating room and the scrub nurses are putting on your sterile gown. At Michigan, we always put our left sterile glove on first. Everywhere else except for Mayo puts their right glove on first. So that's a tradition that will just forever be in my mind, no matter where I go, is always putting my left hand out first.
Do you know why that is?
I have no idea.
So that's your homework for before we next see each other. You got to figure out the answer to the question. Ben, you've already said, I guess.
I guess, yeah, I've kind of already shared. So it's been my university tradition. On a more personal note, something that I've started doing with a group of fellow graduate students is starting off the week with an early morning run in the ARB, which we've turned into just a small tradition with a small group of friends, but just a great way to kind of start the week off on a high note and also clear your mind as you get ready for what's ahead.
Terrific. Diana?
Yeah, graduation traditions are definitely on my mind right now. So I'm looking forward to walking through the fountain, headed towards Rackham, and some of my upcoming commencement celebrations for each of my programs. Another less academic tradition that one of my donors actually shared with me, Joey Bercelli, is going to the Pretzel Bowl on your 21st birthday, as many UM students and NDN staffers have done in the past. So I'm looking forward to doing that at the end of the summer.
Chi-Chi?
Yeah, so ever since I came on campus, my friends and I have realized how many restaurants there are around town. So typically on Friday nights, we like to visit like a different coffee shop and then explore Ann Arbor. So sometimes we go to like a building on campus or maybe like an event on campus or just something that's going on during the weekend. So that's been fun so far.
That's great. I think we have time to do one more round. And for this last question, if you guys could just say, if you've had a chance to do an internship or an externship or a field placement or a study abroad experience, pick one of those and just let's let folks know what that was like for you. And again, we'll start, I'm going to really mix things up now. We're going to start with Jesus. And then we're going to go around in an odd order.
For me, I have not gone on an internship yet. That's honestly very hard as a first year in engineering, since they typically look for second years and higher. But it's not set in stone yet, but I am planning on studying abroad. I'm planning on hopefully going to Japan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Chi-Chi, how about you? You're now in your sophomore year. Last summer, sometimes internships happened or they didn't, or they were remote, somewhere in person. What did you have a chance to do one or a field placement last year?
Yeah, I actually did have a chance. So I did a virtual internship called SPIA, which stands for Michigan Health Sciences Pre-College Exposure Program. So it was a virtual format where I kind of assisted high school students on SAT prep or anatomy instruction. We did a little bit like college readiness workshops. We got to build inclusive communities. So I was very lucky, even though it was after my first year, I was very lucky to have an opportunity over the summer to do something.
That's great. Diana?
Yeah, I am actually a graphic designer at the Office of University Development. So I've been able to learn a lot of that. Kind of started as an internship, and then I loved it so much and the team loved me. So I've been doing it for a little under 2 years now, and also hope to continue to keep doing it. So just lots of great experiences from that as well.
Ben, you mentioned before you got to work with Governor Whitmer's office. Could you say a little bit about that?
Yeah, so my work focused primarily on putting forth proposals for how to distribute American Rescue Plan funds in order to pay for individuals across the state of Michigan who had some college, no degree is the term that's used. So they started a post-secondary experience, but for a variety of reasons were unable to finish. So how can we use those funds to ensure that they can earn the degree that they had started? And then I also focused on supporting the state in developing a strategy to support basic needs for students on campus, whether that could be food insecurity, housing, a variety of challenges that students face, to ensure that those are not the drivers of why students across the state of Michigan are dropping out of school. And so that was just a remarkable experience. And I was just so grateful to be in that position, and also felt exceptionally prepared, which I thank the Ford School and my professors for ensuring that I felt that way.
Thanks, Ben. That's great. Andrew?
Yeah, this past summer I had the opportunity to do an internship for a lighting manufacturer in San Antonio, Texas. The professor that I previously mentioned, John Marshall, was the one who actually helped me get the position. And so it was an awesome opportunity to be able to apply the skills that I've gained here at Michigan, and also acquire some new skills so I could bring them back and put them to use in my senior year.
Thanks, Andrew. Emily?
Yeah, so I had mentioned the externship program that we have at Taubman. I was able to have a hybrid externship. So I was virtual, and then sometimes I went in person. I went in person for site visits, and then I stayed virtual for more meetings, just kind of getting an understanding of what it is an architect does on a day-to-day basis, and even kind of seeing the collaboration that they have with engineers, geotechs, landscape architects. Yeah, I'll keep it pretty short because it was a lovely internship.
Sounds great. Ross, how about you?
I'll change it up a little bit. I did we'll call it an internship, but NIH funded research months up on North Campus. My research mentor, Dr. David Zoff, is a pediatric ear, nose, and throat surgeon. So we spent a couple months creating a 3D printed bioabsorbable medical device for creating narrowing in the airway of pediatric patients. And after creating it and kind of doing some initial testing, we got to go down to Atlanta, Georgia, and operate on 3 pigs and put them in an animal model. So that was one of the highlights of my medical school career.
How are the pigs doing?
Well, the pigs did have to get sacrificed at the end of the study, so unfortunately not doing so hot right now, but they like the device.
That's a question I should not have asked.
They were happy after we operated, but
Got it. I violated the central rule of a lawyer, which is never ask a question you don't know the answer to. So this has been really fun. You guys are just a super impressive, wonderful group of students. We're bringing Tom Baird back to thank you as well, and to thank our donors. So let me turn things over to Tom.
Michael, thank you so much. It's really been great spending time with all of you and hearing more about how your scholarships have made your Michigan education possible. It's just wonderful to hear. So thank you so much. And I want to thank all of you, our donors that are on with us today, for making such a profound impact on our students and our community. It really makes a big difference and we appreciate it so much. And with that, I'm so pleased, or I am pleased. It's been a great hour that we spent together. I'm pleased to send you off to enjoy the rest of your day. So thanks again. And of course, go blue.